so hard that there is a system in place that teaches you not to love yourself, especially for Black people. But it's not just Black people, because let's think about it, right? Let's think about the expectations again in this patriarchal society, this of white supremacy. Let's think about these standards we put on each other. Women have to look a certain way, behave a certain way, be in a relationship, and be able to attract a certain type of man in order to be deemed valuable. And a man, he has to have money, has to have some kind of wealth, he has to be able to pull women, and he has to be able to pull quality women. So let's be honest, the average person does not meet the Eurocentric standards of being rich, right? Being able to attract the baddest bitch, being able to attract the wealthiest man, being skinny, being fair skinned, having straight hair. You know, I can go on. But the average person they're not reaching that standard. So you have this noise, outside noise, right? Societal standards that become conditioned to where you believe that if you don't fit the standard of what I said, you know, society says is a valuable person, you don't think that you're valuable. Of course, you second guess yourself. You don't think you're worthy of certain things, and or if you do think you're worthy of certain things, you know it's going to be harder for you because you don't meet the standards. Regardless, it's a double-edged sword. So you're still going to be upset because, hey, now you're mad because it's just unfair. You know that is the playing field is not even for you. This is the system we live in. And it's hard to fully grasp that, hey, because it's like, okay, we trick ourselves into believing that we love ourselves. It's like, y'all gotta understand, love is a very complex emotion, and it's a leveled type of thing. It's kind of like it's levels to the shit, right? Because yeah, you may love yourself in a base level, meaning that, hey, you care about yourself. You care about what happens to yourself, right? But do you love yourself enough to know that no matter what happens, you will be okay? Do you love yourself enough to know that no matter what you are going through, your circumstances will likely change as long as you stay positive and you keep working towards that whatever goal it is that you have? Do you love yourself enough to know that no matter what somebody says or what somebody has or what somebody does, you are still worthy of whatever it is that you want to go out here and get? Do you love yourself enough to know that? Because see, a lot of people don't. They don't. A lot of people don't know that. I'm sorry, they don't love themselves enough, and they don't know that that is the baseline of really unconditional love. Is no matter what circumstance I'm going through, I mean, I fuck with me. I don't think there's nobody out here better than me. I don't think anybody can do me better than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying in my own lane. That's it. And see, somebody can come around and have more than me, look better than me, maybe have a better personality than me, attract more people than me, even if I feel a little bit of jealousy, right? Because it's a natural emotion. I check myself. I'm like, you know what? I don't really have to feel a certain type of way because that person is in their lane and I'm mine. I'm not finna do too much or perform or act like something different than who I am in order to attract people. That's just not me. I don't want to do that. So just because somebody's attracting more people than me because they have this certain type of personality, I shouldn't feel no jealousy about that. So I check myself. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I feel that emotion, I check myself. So I don't beat myself up about it. And what I do when I feel that emotion, typically I just go ahead and compliment that person. because it'll actually fight that negative emotion. Because then you'll see that person, they'll smile at you or they'll give you a compliment back, and then you just like you. But I believe the word humble is highly overused. I do not believe that everybody should be humble. Don't believe that you should even use that word in a general basis. You should not describe yourself as such either, nor should you tell somebody they need to be humble unless I give you some. I'm a hold off. I'm gonna give you some examples when people do need to be humble. However, in general, no, people don't need to be humble. Humble is literally the exact opposite of confidence, y'all. If y'all look at the definition, it really means to lessen one's importance or to yield. But no, hold on. I know it's lessen one's importance. I'm trying to think of what was the second one. It doesn't matter. Lessen one's importance by itself. That's still one of the definitions of too humble. Why do I have to lessen my importance for anybody, really? I mean, but like I said, there's certain instances where you may have to practice humility, and it's very rare in my mind. But sometimes you do. Just depends on the situation. Like practicing humility when you need to apologize to someone because you did them wrong. That is, yes, you need to humble yourself enough to apologize. That's the only time I really think I'll regularly use that word is when you know you did somebody wrong. Yes, humble yourself. Lessen your haughtiness. Lessen your egotistical sense of self-importance so that you can go ahead and apologize. But I don't really use that humble word. I don't use that humble word. I don't think that just because somebody is popping their shit, they need to be humble. And a lot of y'all think so. Hey, pop your shit when you confident and you know it's yours. It happens for you. It happens. Don't let the outside noise of the world that tell you don't be humble, girl. Be humble, because being humble will have your ass stay stuck at the fucking bottom. I'm going to tell people what I'm good at, and I'm gonna say it in a way that I'm not going to act like I'm not proud. I'm just not. I can't. And I'm sorry if that bothers you. I'm sorry if it bothers you that I know I'm the shit. I'm sorry if it bothers you that I know that I'm smart and I have the receipts to prove it. I'm sorry that when I say, hey, I've made a lot of money. I made more money than a lot of people have touched. I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but if it come out braggadocious, then yes, bitch, I'm bragging because I'm proud of these things. I mean, I don't get what is the problem. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You can do it too, motherfucker. I might even be able to show you wasn't such a fucking hater. Damn it. A gnat. Yeah. That's what y'all are. Hell, I don't get it. Y'all gotta stop hating on people because they did something that you feel like you can't do. If nobody is better than you, sweetheart, and you're not better than anybody. Understand? We were all created equal. We really were. But the societal standards that have you thinking that people are better than you, but nobody's better than you. They may have more resources. They may have more skills than you. But you are you. And you can do you better than anybody. So why don't you do you? You got to learn how to do you. That's all it is. Everybody is really just mastering how to do them. How can I be the best me? So, bitch, why is you worried about what me doing over here when you should be worried about you doing you over there? Stay in your lane. Or maybe you mad because, hey, you in your lane and you don't have a car, and you see some of us, we got a bicycle. Some of us got a scooter, motorized scooter. Some of us are in planes. Some of us are on motorcycles. Some of us are in, you know what I'm saying? But you mad what? Because in your mind, you just on feet. You Flintstoning at least. I don't know. That shit crazy. Y'all really gotta stop being haters for real. That's why y'all ain't getting shit, and you won't get shit. This shit goes back to what I was saying and what I talk about in my upcoming book. Some people are living in spiritual hell on earth because they just can't tap into their power. They can't tap into the God within them, and they can't go out here and make their life the way they want it to be. Even when their life is at a stage where it's not where they want it to be, they perpetuate the fucking cycle over and over again because, first of all, it's comfortable. I talk about this a lot. It's comfortable. Your mind is going to make you, stay in your comfort zone. Sometimes your mind can be your enemy. You have to break out of that shit. You got to learn how to goddamn push past that shit. I get everything that I pray for. I just told y'all about the job that I get everything that I pray for. A problem, I'll say I get about 90%. I ain't gonna say everything, that's a lie. But the problem with me is self-sabotage, inner saboteur. I don't know how to maintain some of these things that I get. I don't know. I got off topic. We supposed to be talking about self-love, but it all goes hand in hand. And the problem is, if you have that inner saboteur, that is really sneaky, especially when you know you are a confident person. Because again, much like self-love is on the same level as the level of confidence. So when you're doubting anything, that means you're not fully confident about it. And if you're self-sabotage or something, you might not be consciously doubting it. You might be believing that yes, you worthy and you deserve all these things and you gonna keep it and you can maintain it. The inner saboteur is a motherfucking beast because it's underlying, it's subconscious. So when you start to do it, you got to really just take a step back to even know you're doing it. First of all, you got to be aware of it. And then secondly, take a step back and be like, okay, what the fuck am I doing this for? Why, like what, there's going to be problems with everything you pray for. This is, if you don't know by now, by living however long you've been living, that in life, there are pros and cons to everything. Everything, even the best thing you want in this world, it could be whatever fantasy life that you want, it is going to be pros and cons to it, to everything. You can't escape it. That's the duality of life. I don't know why it's like that. You got to ask your creator. I mean, I be praying about that too, and I get the answers, but we human, so a lot of that stuff don't make sense. That's why they tell us not to lean into our own understanding, sweetheart, because your human brain can't fathom it. But self-love, right? Like I said, we tell everybody to love themselves, but some of us don't really mean that shit. Because that means that people are going to have boundaries for your ass. And a lot of people don't like boundaries because they feel like they're restricted, which is crazy. Because if I'm telling you a boundary is nothing but somebody telling you how to treat them and what the consequence will be if you treat them that way. That's all a boundary is. You motherfuckers think that you can set your own rules for how you treat people because you have experienced the same. You can say no to that. You can cut anybody off at any given time. And that is why people don't like self-love, because it means I am going to have boundaries and then I'm going to hold you accountable. The word that everybody likes to use also and not implement. Accountability means self-awareness, self-confidence, self-love. All of these things are kind of interdependent on each other. I'm damn near codependent, depending on how you look at it and who you ask. But you have to know how to balance all of that. Self-love, self-confidence, self-awareness, self-reliance, all of those things.